Burna Boy figured it out, man.
He been figuring it out, but that's just another one.
Yes.
That is nuts. That makes me want to book my trip to Ghana again for New Year's.
Nah, he figured it out.
Pull up the Afro, what do they call it now? Afro Future? It was Afrochella last year.
Yeah, Afro Future.
Afro Future.
Morning, everybody.
Burna Boy headlined at Afrochella last year, but man, I was there actually. But God, that's fire.
We are the Breakfast Club. That was a world premiere, top of the world, Burna Boy. We're going to play that in the top of every hour. So if you missed it or you caught the end of it, we're going to play it again in about an hour, all right? Well, let's get in some front page news. Last night in sports, the Nuggets beat the Heat 104-93.
I told y'all my head and my logic tells me the Nuggets are going to sweep the Miami Heat. But man, the Miami Heat have been playing like a team of destiny all throughout the playoffs.
That's
so
right.
I feel like they should at least be able to win one.
I think so. I think they win one. Now, also, the NBA said yesterday that they'll give a ruling when it comes to Ja Morant after the NBA Finals.
Let me tell you something. When they putting up a release date for Ja Morant's announcement, they about to burn him.
Yeah, I guess they didn't want to do it before the finals because they don't want it to.
That mean he about to get
with the finals.
Burned. That mean they about to make a big example out of Ja Morant. That's what that means. All
right. Well, Teslin Figaro is here. Good morning, Tez.
Happy Friday, DJ Envy and Charlamagne, the God.
Yo.
All right. Well, let's jump right into it. Joe Biden fell again.
You didn't have to say again. Could have just said fell. But yesterday, President Joe Biden tripped and fell, but he was uninjured while on stage at the U.S. Air Force Academy graduation. Shout out to my Air Force. He was greeting the graduates in Colorado Springs, Colorado at the front of the stage with salutes and handshakes and turned to jog back toward his seat when he fell over two small black sandbags. He was helped up by an Air Force officer as well as two members of the U.S. Secret Service detail. Now, the president told reporters with a smile that he got sandbagged when he arrived at the White House before pretending to jog back into the residence. And as a side note, Envy, he also banged his head on the helicopter when he arrived at the White House.
That was live video of America falling in real time.
Damn it, man.
That was live video of America falling in real time, man. You know what I'm saying?
Do you have the percentage of how many times he fell or how many? I'm just messing with you.
You better be happy today.
I do not have the percentage, but it is more than once. And even though you said again, you pointed it out, but, that's been a lot of the conversation, because age is always, that's going to keep coming up. And we all fall. We fall down, we get up. I have 6 screws in my ankle, from falling. So we fall, but, this is going to keep, bringing up conversations around his age. But his doctor did say that he is in perfect condition for an 80-year-old man.
Yeah, right. Does the man have life alert? That's what we need to be thinking about.
Up, man.
For real, man. What about when that man fall when ain't nobody around?
I falling.
And I can't get up. Y'all laughing at these elderly people falling. I don't laugh when old people fall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I didn't laugh. Envy laughed.
I didn't laugh. I just said he fell again.
I saw a little smile.
I was saddened. You know what I mean?
I was saddened too. And did you notice that they were kind of looking? They even put it out in the article. They said, onlookers were just looking. I thought they would have picked him up a lot sooner. Was it me?
I think they were shocked.
And what does that mean, sandbagged?
Because it was sandbags
on
the
there
floor.
were literally 2 sandbags.
I guess holding the stage together, and he tripped over the sandbag.
I had no idea what he was talking about. I'd have blamed it on the Russians if I was him. I didn't say about anything other than that. I'd have blamed sandbags.
I'd have blamed it on AI.
That's sad.
I don't know how.
That's
sad. Blamed it on AI.
Does the president need a guide? I'm not even joking when I say that. Like I know he has a presidential assistant, but does he need somebody when you're that age? Do you need somebody at your side at all times? Because we laughing.
What they're called the Secret Service.
Somebody need to be his crutch.
Like a dog?
No, man, like an actual person. Because when you're that age, if you keep falling like that and hitting your head, you can.
He's the president. If the president needs an aide to walk with him, then he shouldn't be the president, bro. Let's be honest.
Well, that's a whole other conversation that people will decide next year during the presidential election. But my point is, when we know we have a president that age, and he's prone to fall, and now he hitting his head and all kind of stuff. This is the leader of the free world we talk about, people. Maybe somebody need to be with him at all times, like literally right there, to make sure things like that don't happen.
You can't. When he does a speech, he's going to trip over that person. It can't be somebody on. He has to be able to walk, bro.
He tripping over people, then that's a whole other conversation.
He tripped over a sandbag, bro. He falls down the stairs every time he comes down to the Air Force One. He falls down the stairs.
He needs a person.
He fell up the stairs one time.
Taz, what's the people that be with elderly people? Is it caretaker? Like, what is it?
Yes, a caretaker.
The president needs a caretaker.
Then he shouldn't be president. If you need a caretaker, you shouldn't be a president.
Well, this is what we got. We have this older man in office. We should move accordingly. Being that we have this elderly man in office, we should have a caretaker with him. at all times.
Like a CNI dog, just.
I ain't know, man. A person. Why you keep bringing dogs into this? We need a caretaker, man. The president of the United States of America needs a caretaker because if he keeps falling and hitting his head, might not end well. If this was our granddaddy or grandmama, we wouldn't be laughing about this. We'd be saying the same thing.
We'd have a caretaker.
Be saying that this person needs a caretaker.
Oh, we'd be with them to make sure they don't fall. That's what I'm saying.
So the president needs a caretaker before they hurt themselves and die. He's the president.
But, he falls so much, it can create, brain damage. And if he hits his head, like, that's a problem.
I think that happened a long time ago.
Damn it, man.
Yeah.
All right, well, that is front page news. I'm sorry, Tez. I know you had something serious to talk about.
We did have another story.
This is serious.
I want to let you guys.
Having an elderly president.
I know y'all needed to flush that out. So.
Tez, having an elderly president who can't stay off the ground, that's not serious. This is serious.
I thought you were gonna go somewhere else on Sandbag, but y'all did a good job keeping it clean on Freaky Friday.
No. All right.
Sandbags are big balls. Tea bags are regular balls.
Get it off your chest, Jesus Christ. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open. 800-585-1051. Tez, we'll see you in a couple minutes. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Now let's get in some front page news. We have Teslin Figaro back with us. What up, Tez?
Absolutely. Good morning, DJ Envy and Charlamagne the God.
Yo, peace, Tez.
Now, let's jump right into some sports. Now, the Nuggets beat the Heat last night, 104-93. They lead the series 1-0. And for John Morant, they're saying that the ruling, what they're going to do with him is going to come after the NBA Finals.
John Morant is about to be made an example out of. And, I hope whatever happens to John Morant, it gets him on the right path. Because what you're about to see in the NBA, they're going to make Jokic the face of the league. Right?
Yep.
And, that's disappointing because two brothers from South Carolina have the opportunity to be the face of the league, which is Zion Williamson and Ja Morant. But, Zion can't stay healthy and Ja can't stay out of trouble. So I hope that
you don't think Steph will be the face of the league?
I mean, Steph is OG. Steph is like the face of the league now. Like the Steph Currys, LeBron James, those guys are the face of the league now.
How old is Joker? Joker pretty old, ain't he?
No, Joker's young. Joker's in like 6 seasons, 7 maybe.
Oh,
maybe. I got to look that up, but yeah, Joker's he young.
All right,
but I just want Scraps and Snacks to get it together. That's all.
All right,
that's what I call John Zion. Scraps and Snacks.
Let's jump right into straps and snacks. You stupid. Well, let's jump right into it. So let's talk about the debt limit bill.
Yes, the U.S. Senate on Thursday passed bipartisan legislation backed by President Joe Biden that lifts the government's $31.4 trillion debt ceiling, averting a historic first ever default. Now, as lawmakers raced against the clock following months of partisan bickering between Democrats and Republicans, the Senate did vote 63 to 36 to approve the bill that was passed on Wednesday by the House Representatives. And I also wanted to note that progressive Senator Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren did hold the line. They voted no, along with their colleagues in the House. So I was waiting, following that story to see if they were, going to do what they were telling the progressives in the House to do, and they did do that. But of course, the bill did pass, but they wanted to go on record as holding the line.
Well, tell me, how was not raising the debt limit going to affect everyday Americans?
And it's really important that people understand this, that this, if they did not move forward with raising the debt limit, it could have slashed government services. Payments to 67 million Social Security beneficiaries could have been halted. Just 1 week of default could cause 1 million jobs to be lost. The unemployment rate would have jumped to 5%. We would have experienced higher interest rates, market panic, political instability, which we have enough of that, and other long-term effects. So it was a big deal, but also, people are saying that this is just something that is routine, and they've been using this as a political football. Every 18 months or so, we have to keep going through this, circus, if you will, this political theater to do what they know what is right to do, which is pay your bills.
Well, let me ask you a question, Ted. With progressives and, Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren not voting to raise it, what does that say about them? Like, what kind of message is that sending to everyday working class people that they didn't want to vote to raise it?
Yeah, I think the message is sending to progressives, who is their base, that, they're going on record to say that although this is important to be passed, they disagree with a lot of the stuff that's in the bill. And so that's important because you remember, we talked about this many, many times on, for example, using the 94 crime bill. when when Bernie Sanders ran for president, a lot of people said, well, you voted for that crime bill. And he said, well, I did that because I needed to vote for the women, the violence against women part of the bill. And so elected officials want to make sure that they're on record so that down the road, if it backfires, if it doesn't work out, if there's something, that they're against, like, for example, this bill not taking care of college debt, it's now those college debt payments that were paused, it's now going to put people back, in a position to have to pay their college loans. So we know that Senator Bernie Sanders and Senator Elizabeth Warren, that's one of the things they ran on was, eliminating college debt. So they want to be on record to say, this is not something we agree with, but they did have enough votes to pass it and not halt the bill from moving forward.
Yeah, and I understand them looking at the other things in the bill, but they need to understand that people need to eat. Yeah. And people want money now. And it's amazing to me how these people don't realize that if you let everyday working class people starve, when those folks get hungry, they're gonna come take food off your plate. And it behooves you to raise the debt ceiling unless, chaos is what they want, because you already know both parties are gonna run on a tough on crime, tough on crime campaign during the election season.
I think if it had been closer, where you could afford to lose the votes, maybe they would have voted yes. Which is, again, there's criticism with that when they say you're voting no, but you knew it was going to get passed anyway. You know what I'm saying? Or you voted yes and you knew that it wasn't. They did this when they had the issue with infrastructure, where it really came down to the numbers. So again, it's just really kind of going on record to say they're against it. But to my point, if it was a little bit closer, would they have still held the line? So
everything is politics, man. That's a damn shame.
Everything's politics.
It's a damn shame. Everything is politics.
It is.
They just play with people's lives every single day. It's just all politics, yo.
All right. Well, that is front page news.
And make sure you subscribe to Tez and Figaro's podcast, The Straight Shot No Chaser podcast on the Black Effect iHeartRadio podcast network. She'll be breaking down or going in depth to a lot of the stories you heard this week. And follow Tez on Instagram at Teslin Figaro.
All right. All right. When we come back,
a man we are not responsible for. He has an album out today with his son, Tootie Raw. The name of the album is the best album of 2023.
Yep.
And we are not responsible for anything that comes out of his mouth.
That's right. Boosie Badass will be joining us and his son, Tootie Raw. So tune in when we come back. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.